ate noodles with no packet.
I'm sorry, Cletus, but I don't really like all these Negroes out here doing what we do. It's a lack of respect from the government, and the government ain't respecting me as a superior elite white man. I don't want the Negro on that horse. Get him off that horse now. Get him off. Let's go, you footdoers. Tell that doctor that he's a foodie. Tell that doctor that he's a footdool.
Frontier, 1866. White America had just survived a civil war that nearly tore the nation apart. They thought they could control what came next, including 4 million newly freed black people. They were wrong. In July
Free the blacks
of that same year, something unprecedented happened. Congress authorized the creation of the first peacetime all-black army regiments, 6 regiments of armed, disciplined, federally backed black soldiers. But these weren't just any military units. They were about to become one of the most feared and respected fighting forces in American history.
What do y'all think, man? You had all these slaves sitting around, and you had them all chained up and whipped up, pretty much doing DV and destroying them and giving them generational trauma. You don't think they're gonna come back with a vengeance? Come on, man. Stop it. Stop playing.
Men who would earn a name that struck terror into the hearts of races across the frontier. The Plains tribes called them Buffalo Soldiers. Warriors as fierce and unstoppable as the sacred buffalo. What happened next was so extraordinary that white officers would literally quit their commissions rather than command these men. These regiments were led by men like Charles Young and Henry Flipper, and they would accomplish some.
A nigga by the name of Henry Flipper? You know that nigga got clowned so much that he had to become a G, bro. He had no other choice. His name is Henry Flipper, bro. You don't think I'm making fun of this nigga every single day? Of course! I'm making fun of him any chance I get. So I know that when niggas run into Henry Flipper once that nigga grew up, that's the type of nigga that slaps a nigga for saying anything, bro. God damn.
Something that had never been done before. Forcing racist America to respect black military excellence. This is the story about soldiers who turned the uniform into a weapon of resistance. A story about black men who became America's first park rangers. In 1866, Congress creates the first peacetime all-black army regiments, the 9th and 10th Cavalry, and the 24th and 25th Infantry. For black men fresh out of slavery, this was like hitting the lottery. Steady pay of $13 a month when most black folks were making pennies.
Excuse me, bro. Excuse me, dude. $13 a month? Oh my God, wow. What a time to be alive. Obviously, I know inflation. You guys have no sense of satire.
3 meals a day, a roof over your head, and something white America couldn't stand, respect that came with the uniform. These weren't just jobs. They were paths to dignity in a country that had spent centuries denying black people basic humanity. The Army offered structure, purpose, and most importantly, weapons. Backed by federal authority, for the first time in American history, black men could walk tall, armed, and legally protected. But white America was not having it. White officers
You think you're gonna let a bunch of Negroes walk around with guns and uniforms and be like, they were literally deemed as savages and monkeys and gorillas less than 10 years before that, dude. And you think you're gonna let these people just walk around armed and at the same level as a white man? You crazy, bro.
Literally quit rather than command black troops. Some took demotions just to avoid leading these regiments.
That's what I'm
George
saying.
Armstrong Custer. Yeah, that Custer.
You got Custer, you got Flipper. Bro, I'm glad we became a little bit more creative with our names, because god damn.
Refused to command black soldiers, even though it cost him a promotion. The Army responded by sending these black regiments to the absolute worst, most dangerous, most isolated posts they could find. The Wild West frontier, where survival wasn't guaranteed and backup was days away. They got the worst equipment, leftover Civil War gear that was falling apart. Their horses were broken down. Their saddles barely fit. Commanding officers wrote angry letters about how these men were being.
Excuse me, why does this nigga got 3 arms? Look at this nigga. He's writing a letter whilst one of his eyes is looking at another letter. Look at this letter here. He's writing a letter whilst reading another letter that he's probably going to send out. What was going on back then, dude? Was there forms of radiation that we didn't know about? Excuse me?
Set up to fail with trash equipment. The message was clear. We'll give you this opportunity, but we'll make damn sure you fail at it. These soldiers had a choice. Prove the racists right by failing, or do something that would shake white America to its core. By the way, if you're enjoying the
We're gonna shake the white man to the core. We're gonna shake him. We're gonna shake his soul.
content so far, it would mean
Shut up, man. Don't tell me to like and subscribe. I'll punch you in the face, you footy.
and I want each chosen excellence as their weapon. Here's a stat that probably made racist heads explode. Buffalo soldiers had lower desertion rates than white troops.
Buffalo
Lower court-martial rates too.
soldier.
Despite being treated like dirt, they stayed disciplined and professional. They earned 18 medals of honor, the highest military honor in America, given to black men that society said.
Bro, as a white guy during this time, these niggas must be absolutely furious. Not only are these savages disciplined, wearing a uniform, weapons, and they took all the complete garbage you guys gave them, and they're still shitting on you. I'm sorry, Cletus, but I don't really like all these Negroes out here doing what we do. It's a lack of respect from the government, and the government ain't respecting me as a superior elite white man. I don't want the Negro on that horse. Get him off that horse now. Get him off.
It weren't even fully human. They protected mail routes through hostile territory when everyone else said it was impossible. They built roads, escorted settlers, and fought off raiders. They did jobs that white regiments failed at or refused to do.
Just like when the Mexicans come and work on the farms and take all the jobs away, and then all they can say is, they took her down. They took her down. That's all the white man can say. He says, they're taking away the jobs from my little fetus over there. My little unborn fetus won't have a job because of all these Mexicans and blacks. Get him out of here. Nigga, who's going to get you your milk and fruits and berries, you footy?
Every victory, every mission completed, every life saved was a middle finger to everyone who said black men couldn't be real soldiers. Their excellence wasn't just professional, it was revolutionary. Every time they succeeded where others failed, they destroyed another piece of the racist mythology that justified their oppression. But their success started earning them something even more dangerous than respect. Native American tribes they fought against respected them so much, they gave them the name Buffalo Soldiers. In Plains Indian culture, the buffalo was sacred, powerful, nearly impossible to kill. That name was respect from warriors who knew courage when they saw it. Buffalo Soldiers became America's first park rangers at Yosemite, Sequoia, and what's now Kings Canyon National Park. They built trails, fought wildfires, stopped poachers, and protected the wilderness. They were stewarding.
These niggas out here fighting wildfires at a time before water tanks. So they're running around with buckets of water, nigga after nigga throwing buckets of water on the fires, bro. That's a major W, bro.
America's natural treasures before the National Park Service even existed. Captain Charles Young became the first black superintendent of a national park. So competent that even racist America couldn't deny his abilities. They weren't just soldiers anymore. They were symbols. Proof that black excellence couldn't be contained.
Bro, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? And the thing that actually gets me the most cheese, let's get into this monologue. The thing that gets me the most choked is that these people were literally slaves. And then they became free. And then they had the opportunity that they were given to be uniformed soldiers, okay? They get their $13 a month. They get their 3 meals and a place to sleep. And not one of them played the victim. Not one of them played victim to say we were slaves. They took the minuscule opportunity they had and they flourished. Flourished. Now, does that sound a little bit different than the average black American today who wants to talk about, oh my God, they're trying to stop us. Oh my God, we're so oppressed. Oh my, wah, 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 wah. You guys are absolutely idiots, bro. Look at what these niggas are doing. With the little opportunity they have, they flourish. And you, the rest of y'all today, want to cry about it, bro. Reparations. Reparations. Shut up, you footies.
Couldn't be hidden, couldn't be denied. But that's exactly what made them so dangerous to white supremacy. In 1906, Brownsville, Texas, black soldiers from the 25th Infantry are stationed at Fort Brown. The white townspeople hate having disciplined armed black men nearby. One night, shots are fired in town. One white man is killed, another wounded. Immediately, and I mean immediately, the white townspeople blame the black soldiers. No investigation, no evidence, no trial. President Theodore Roosevelt, the same guy who supposedly believed in American values, dishonorably discharged 167 black soldiers overnight, without a trial, without evidence, without basic justice. 100.
They just needed any opportunity to dismantle what they had started, because the crazy thing is, in their minds, they didn't believe that these guys would become so good. So the slightest thing that they could use to dismantle them, this is exactly what they did. Because once again, they're becoming too strong, bro. They're becoming too strong.
67 men, some with 20 years of service, some with medals for bravery, all destroyed by presidential racism with the stroke of a pen. The message was crystal clear. It didn't matter how well you served, how bravely you fought, or how loyal you were. In racist America, you were still a black man first, and that made you guilty until proven innocent. If the system would betray even its most loyal servants, black communities had to find new ways to fight back. Enter Charles Young, a man so competent that racist America had to conspire to stop him. Young was only the third black graduate of West Point, and from day one, he was marked as dangerous, not because he was violent, but because he was brilliant. Young served with distinction everywhere they sent him. He was a natural leader, spoke multiple languages, and had a mind for strategy that impressed even his racist colleagues. He advocated for his black troops, fought for better conditions, and refused to bow down to white supremacist expectations. When black soldiers had a problem, they had an advocate. When the military tried to hide their achievements, Young made sure they got recognition. He represented something terrifying to white supremacy. A black man who couldn't be intimidated, couldn't be bought, and couldn't be ignored. But when World War I started, Young was about to cross a line that white America would never allow. Charles Young was in line to become the highest-ranking black officer in American history, potentially commanding white troops, and white America lost its absolute mind. They forced him into retirement under fake medical claims, said he had high blood pressure and couldn't serve. You know what Young did? He rode his horse 500 miles from Ohio to Washington, D.C. to prove he was physically fit. 500 miles on
horseback, bro. On horseback. And the majority of y'all won't even walk down the block to grab your EBTs, bro. Listen, I'm not hating against my fellow black brothers and sisters. I'm just saying that for some of y'all like to just yap and do nothing at all and sit on your cozy couches. Well, most of these people were living in a time where there's no electricity, and yet they're out here completely dominating the game. Okay?
Horseback at age 55, just to call
victimhood is bullshit. Stop it.
Out their obvious lie. This wasn't about his health. This was about making sure no black man ever got too much power in the American military. Young had become too competent, too respected, too dangerous to white supremacy. They would rather weaken their own military than let a black man command white soldiers. Young's dramatic protest became something bigger than one man's career. Young's 500-mile horseback ride became a symbol of resistance that echoed across black America. The black press covered it extensively. The NAACP rallied support. Black communities across the country saw what was happening. If they could do this to Charles Young, a West Point graduate with an impeccable record, they could do it to anyone. Buffalo soldiers weren't just individual soldiers anymore. They had become symbols of black pride and possibility. When they rode into a town, black folks saw what they could become: disciplined, respected, armed, and unafraid. And white racists saw their worst nightmare: black men with power.
And today we don't have examples of that. How many people can you say in terms of in black media and culture that you can turn around and say, this person is a role model for our current society? How many of those people exist, bro? Very few of them. And why do you think? Because it's on purpose. Because events and things like this is when the white man realizes, if you let these Negroes come together, they're actually pretty strong, right? If they divide us and they feed us goy slop and they keep us in project buildings, having to suffer under duress and stress, we're not able to use our minds to become better beings, okay? If they keep us divided and fighting over Jordans, then what can we really become? We become whatever they want us to. I'm just saying, guys.
Or who couldn't be lynched or intimidated. There are records of black communities writing to the War Department, begging for Buffalo soldiers to be stationed nearby, because they knew these men would protect them when no one else would. But the military had other plans for these soldiers, plans that would test their moral compass. The same government that betrayed Buffalo soldiers at home sent them to enforce American imperialism abroad. In the Philippines, they fought to suppress Filipino independence fighters. Against native tribes, they enforced the government's westward expansion that displaced indigenous peoples from their ancestral lands. Buffalo Soldiers found themselves in the impossible position of oppressing other oppressed peoples. It's a harsh reality of how systems of power work. They'll use one marginalized group to control another. These men, who knew oppression intimately, were being used as tools of someone else's oppression. But here's what's remarkable. Some Buffalo Soldiers recognized this contradiction. In the Philippines, more black soldiers deserted to join Filipino rebels than from any other American units. They understood oppression when they saw it, because all lived it every day. Even when used as tools of empire, some chose resistance over complicity. Despite the betrayals, the contradictions, and the systematic racism, Buffalo Soldiers carved out space for black excellence inside a system designed to destroy them. Every promotion, every medal, every act of courage was a crack in the wall of white supremacy. They proved that excellence could be a form of resistance. They showed that dignity couldn't be taken away, only given up. They demonstrated that armed, disciplined black men were not a threat to democracy, not were democracy's greatest defenders. These men didn't just wear the uniform. They redefined what it meant to be an American soldier. They served a country that hated them and fought enemies foreign and domestic, including the racism within their own rank.
Exactly. So when it comes down to it, guys, take whatever opportunity you can to excel. For the longest time, bro, people of color have been diminished to be inferior to people, but it's not about being greater or better than anybody. That's stupid. The only person that's better than us is God himself, okay? If somebody else is another human being, then we're all on the same level. The only thing that we all are all the same, okay? Don't let anybody ever try to diminish what you're able and capable of doing. And don't let your current circumstances be of that either. Look to anybody that can be of a role model, of some sort of inspiration to being able to escape your current situation and trying to excel. We should all be looking to excel. We should not sit there and accept any sort of BS that comes our way. Because most BS is a controlling narrative, and it's there by design to keep whoever it might be inferior, okay? You guys. Sick. Feel ill by this